I just got up, so you'll have to excuse my bedtime eyes. Really, mushrooms, it's a lot about sap movement, so I can already tell it's a little bit cold here at this spot. But this is the cottonwood. This is a blown over cottonwood, this tree. Blew over in a windstorm yesterday or something. So this stuff here, this is when the bud bursts. Okay, and that is super fragrant with cottonwood. That's what you make balm of Gilead out of. Soak these resiny, basically leaf holders. They're holding the leaves in, and they go pop and the leaves come out. And they're covered in kind of a orange resin. This just smells amazing. Soak it in olive oil for a few months. Use it as a massage oil. Oh my god. Oh my god. But the sap movement in the trees, this is what bringing on the mushrooms too, because they're connected to the tree. So that when these things start budding out, when things start coming, there's movement. There's movement of sap. That movement of sap, which is carbohydrates. The mushroom's connected to it, allows some stuff to happen. So we're looking for whatever, natural morels in here. This is down in the cottonwoods along the river. I am going to go into the burn in a bit, but I know some mushrooms grow here, so it's a preliminary scout. I think it's too cold. Just not quite enough leaf action, you know? It's just starting. It's still cold. I've got a toque on. It's a little bit more. I'm probably 3 or 4 days early. Better early than late. Some of the commercial harvesters might recognize this spot from last year. Last year's forest fires will sometimes, well, they generally will produce a little bit of morels the following year, so in year 2. However, nowhere near as much and way harder to find because everything's grown up and green. Here we are coming to the little edge of a little fire. These are some fiddleheads. So this is bracken. The fiddleheads are just starting. Bracken, fern, fiddleheads, by the way, are not a choice edible. You can't eat them, and they're consumed in Korea. But they've got a little bit of not so good stuff in it that some people think is carcinogenic. So you try one. I have. It's kind of like a fern plus gasoline. It's kind of what it tastes like. We got some nettle. It's a good sign that the stinging nettle's up. Slept in my truck last night, which is a great thing to do. I like it. Had a little campfire. The truck sleep is good. Still have a bench seat. So there's no tent, foamy, tent fly. Just drink a beer, get cuddled up there with yourself, and wake up in the morning and pick mushrooms nice and dry. Don't have anything to put away. That's snow. You know, last year at this spot, morels have been coming out for a week, maybe 2 weeks already, and I was late. So this year I didn't want to be late, but this year I'm definitely early. So I'll go check one more little spot, a little more southern aspect, and then it might be time to go to another location down in the Lower Mainland, down in the Vancouver, Chilliwack area, maybe, or maybe it's Houston. This is wild lettuce. So I mean, look it up in a book and everything, but wild lettuce is one of the opium-containing plants. Don't get all excited about smoking it. It's pretty weak, but you can dry it and use it as a tea. It has a mild sedative-like quality. And of course, make sure you ID strawberry here. Predecessor of the strawberry you eat right now. Of course, these ones are tiny and delicious. Trailing plant, strawberry plant. Very common. I believe it is Strawberrius wildosus in Latin. You got your wild strawberry here. Predecessor of the strawberry you eat right now. Of course, these ones are tiny and delicious. Trailing plant, strawberry plant. Very common. I believe it is Strawberrius wildosus in Latin. It's a fun one. It's too early, man. I'm too early. I'm just going for a hike now, reflecting on old times. Days of glory, when I took hundreds of pounds off this mountain. And I'm gonna go check another burn. Another wild edible plant. This is gonna turn into Solomon's seal, and it's well, it's not a very good depiction of what it'll look like, but you can see the deer. We've already started to eat it. And look, there's a little tiny mushroom there. Another one here. There's cup fungus. Cup is a really good sign for morels. That's the first thing you look for in a burn, as you would have learned from previous videos. But anyway, Solomon's seal here. I remember my hippie parents back when they were hippies telling me that they could, that they would eat this as a green. I never have. I don't know much about it. I know there's a false Solomon's seal. I've never seen it abundantly enough to consider harvesting it from a capitalist perspective. This is the first spot that I picked morel mushrooms last year. I'm in the very same spot. And of course I'm very excited. Basically I'm up on this mountain bluff. This is last year's forest fire. Oh, I just got up and had a nice hike. I love what I do. I love it. This is like an adventure hunt. This is like, remember when you were a kid with an Easter egg hunt? That's what this is like. And if you're smart, like me, you can actually make a reasonable wage at this sometimes. Just takes a while to get good at it so that your costs don't eat up all your profits. Little forethought, planning, mapping. I gotta look for some mushrooms here. If there is one or two here which would excite the bejesus out of me, they're gonna be so small. They're gonna be like that big. They're gonna be like the little tiny itsy bitsy tip of your pinky winky finger. Cedar, right? This is the cedar area. I've only learned in the last few years that holy smoke, cedar can pump out some mushrooms. The organism is here. It is here in the cedar. This really yellow inner layer of the bark of this Oregon grapefruit, that's like super good medicine for your liver. You can steep that in some vodka. It turns yellow. It's really good for you. Very astringent too. Not a food, not something I'd eat if I had to survive out here. Fireweed. Yes, you can eat fireweed. And it's so delicious. So good. It's not bad. Alright? There are better things to eat. For sure. You can steam up young fireweed and eat it. It's a little bit bitter. It's actually not too bad. And it has this kind of astringent taste to it, like I don't know. You might like it. Give it a try. You know, just because I can't find any mushrooms doesn't mean I can't teach you something else. There's so much magic out here. There really is. Oh, every day last year I walked by a morel under these two trees. I just watched it. Somebody picked it one day. I don't blame them for that. Especially when you're in a nice little trail. Today I got a fire under my ass to go find some mushrooms, so I'm gonna go down this mountain and hop in the truck and go to the next spot. It's probably a total waste of time and fuel, but it's not. Nothing's a waste of time if you love doing it, I suppose. And of course, mint. Some lovely mint. You can always tell mint has a square stem, 4 sides. Check it out. It's pretty much square. And it's very young mint, so it's very mild. Very tasty. Not really any poisonous species of mint to watch out for. Square stem. That first part is the best. Spicy mint. Well, we're out of here. That was what it was. It was fun. The question is, at this altitude, 240 meters, south facing, it's about as early as it gets around here. Do I go and check out a few other patches? I think I can't help it. I have to. So it'll be about a 4.5, 5-hour drive to the next spot. I'll spare you too much from along that journey. What a beautiful valley. Well, about 350 kilometers later, no mushrooms. I guess it's still too early, but I'm going to pay for the travel with harvesting some beautiful nettle. It's just perfect right now. Look at it. I just want to take the upper bit. And yeah, it's been raining all day, but it'd be nice to get out of the truck for a bit and pay for the fuel.